Hey, I'm Violacious. This is the first time I'm doing one of these videos, so bear with me. We're going to do a quick walkthrough of how to use the new event when you use a Twitch-based shoutout. So when you use the /shoutout command, most of your bots currently can't do anything with that. The shoutout appears to those who are not following the person who's been shouted out. Other than that, it doesn't seem to do much. Our general chat who might be interested don't see that. Any on-screen effects that we do with our normal shoutouts aren't being shown. So let me show you what we can do to get around that. And this is using streamer.bot. Streamer.bot just released a new update this weekend, and they included with that a new event that actually catches when you give a shout out on your channel using the built-in Twitch shoutout command. I'm going to actually use my browser and go ahead and do that. So typically when I do my shout out, just like an exclamation mark SO, and then I'm going to type in a username. When I do that, it's going to pop up on my screen. Now, for me, what I have it do is I have it actually display a card over there on the corner. It has some graphics. It has a little message that pops up in chat. So you'll see that as well in the chat itself here. Well, let's go with here. It's probably a little easier to see. So in that, I'm capturing a little bit of information. I've got the display name. I've got what was the last category, and I have the hyperlink over to their channel still in my chat. I also pop it up on the screen to give a little bit of extra attention. Now, when I do the shout out and use a username here, I'm going to go ahead and also just shout out my own channel just to make this easy. I already have wired this up. So when I use this shout out, instead of it just popping up for, hey, you don't follow this person yet, mine is going to look very much the same. You're going to see the card pop up on the screen. You're going to see the chat message pop up in the chat. This effect can only happen when you're live. So if you don't have a test account, go ahead and create one, get it connected to your OBS or get another instance of OBS and streamer.bot ready before you start these next steps. All right, let's go ahead and dive into streamer.bot, and we'll get the inception effect out of our way. And we're going to build a new action. So we're going to start out right here with a new action, and this is going to be our new shout out. Okay, we've got our new shout out action right here. And just to make this a little bit easier to see as we go forward, I'm actually going to enlarge this a little bit here so we can see what we're doing as we're building this action. All right. As I mentioned, we use a lot of details in that one in particular. We're pulling in the profile picture. We're pulling in the last stream category, etc. So we need to add a little bit of detail here. What we're going to do is basically send a message, and I'm going to do the basic version here. We're still going to get those variables. And we'll do a send a message to the channel. We can choose our bot or broadcaster. We're going to choose our bot. If you have one, great. If you don't, just use your own account and connect both in streamer.bot, and that's going to be just fine. So we start off with our login. Do a send a message. Wherever it went. Send message to channel. There we go. And just paste that in there. We're going to say, go follow. Add a percent sign before, a percent sign after our variable. We're just telling them, hey, go follow that person. Okay. The next time that we ran, if we wire this up, the next time we run this command, it's going to just say go follow and give them that user's login version of their name, not the display name. If we want their display name, that's going to be target user display name. So let's change that real quick here. And I'll explain why I grabbed that other one. Make you see what that does. I'm going to switch this over, and we're going to do that by going over to our platform. We're going to leave this with just that basic info for the moment. We're not going to grab anything extra. We're going to go to platforms, Twitch events, and we're going to change this from our Twitch SO to our new shout out. Now, the next time we run one, it's going to pull up that information instead, and then we'll be able to get that from our action queue and look at that history. That is just fired, and if we pull up that in chat, go to the bottom, we see the shout out, and there it is. Go follow them. Over here, we go to our action queue. And we can look at our last run from our action history. and double click this to get actually into the variables. And you can see that list is much shorter than what you were seeing before. We have the ID of the shoutout, the target user, the login display name, profile, primary color, and the target user profile image. The rest of these values are not going to help us in this case, unless we want to say, are they subbed? Are they a VIP? Are they a moderator? Are they affiliate? Are they partner? But some of these values also are our own. So broadcaster is our current broadcaster, the current running action, the current broadcaster user ID, all of these values. And I'm not giving you any super secrets here because, as you can see, you could get these yourselves by typing in any user's name into this, any user's login name. Okay. So we've got our values, we've got our tools here, but we want to find out what game they're playing. So we need one more action here. We're going to do that here. We're going to go back to the Twitch section of the sub actions, and we're going to choose Get User Info for Target. Now, when I first set this up, I thought from input because I'm doing shout out and then I'm putting input after it, so that must be what it is. In this case, that's actually incorrect and it will break because there is no input coming in because the event itself is not reporting that input. It's reporting all of that data back as an object already. So we're going to go with a variable and we're going to take one of its native variables here. In this case, we're going to take target user login. So target user login. Okay. So with that being used, we're now going to get access to an entirely new set of data. And we'll go ahead and I'm just going to copy my message from the other one for the sake of time here. So we're going to go into my mod actions, into here. I'm going to just copy this action. And I'm going to bring it up here to this one, and we'll paste it in. And then I'll show you what we're doing inside of there. So right at the top, you recognize that target user display name. We used it already. You've got the game is new. We don't see that in the current list. Now, even though it's just the category, it's reported as game through this retrieval method. And then we have the link with the user login, and that's because we want that to actually display correctly. Somebody may change their display name without changing their login name. So we want to make sure that their link is always correct to whatever their current user login name is. So this is going to display just those three values. And we can disable this one just by saying, yeah, we don't need that anymore. We're now going to get the info and then report back the game. So let's go ahead and give another shout out. And this time, let's use my mod here. We'll shout out Annie Benini. So that shout out is gone. And here you see immediately after, we're pulling in the display name. We're pulling in the category for where they were last streaming. And we're pulling in the link over to their channel all at once. Nice and quick, nice and easy. And all we've done is 2 actions in order to get all of that information. And then we'll shrink our way back out of Inception so we can come back to normal view here. Now, again, if we go to the action queue, remember, this is what we were looking at before. We added that get target. Now, everything under running action ID is all this additional detail. We have their profile image and their profile image escaped. We have their target description. So we can actually get the description of their channel if we wanted to give additional details. Maybe we want to have something pop up on the screen and say, hey, here's a little bit about them. Or we want to throw that into chat. We can do that now. And we have the game right down here. So that, again, being the category. If they're in just chatting, it's going to say just chatting there. So maybe don't say they were playing. Say they were last streaming. Something along those lines to give it more action, or what's the actual word I want here? Make it more compatible with the variety of things that people stream on Twitch. All right, that's easy enough. I'm not going to go into the full experience of what I do because what mine does is it uses a combination of image masks and different layers, displays, There are a few additional actions. I will say it's not difficult. As you can see here, I'm doing that in only a small handful of actions, a delay before it turns them off. So they're easy to do, and we'll do another tutorial on that another time. All right, thanks everybody. We hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button down below. Since we're doing this on YouTube, I suppose I'm supposed to say that. Otherwise, we'll see you around. We'll see you here. We'll see you on Twitch. Thanks again, and good luck.